Keith Moon. He was so out of control.
It was maddening a lot of the time.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that he did that people laugh about, they think, oh, that was really funny.
Yeah.
When you were there at the time, some of it wasn't funny at all.
Right, because when you're in a session and you're trying to get something done.
But he was such a wonderful, he was such an enormous character.
Yeah.
Every facet of his personality was way out there. He was the most loving, he could be the most hurtful, the most spiteful, the most caring. It was all completely like fireworks.
Like, what do you think was behind all the drinking, and what was behind all the smashing of like the hotel rooms and all that stuff? Well, what do you think that anger was?
My own opinion, I think he was slightly autistic.
Yeah. And they didn't know how to diagnose that stuff back then.
And he obviously had an addictive personality.
Right.
I've never known anyone take the amount of booze, drugs that Mooney did. Remember Black Bombers and all that stuff in the 60s. People would take one and they would be high as a kite for a day.
Yeah.
He would take a handful. And he would literally...
What were Black Bombers? Like speed and all that kind of stuff?
Downers, uppers.
And drinking with it too.
Drinking with it too.
How many people have that kind of constitution?
Well, the person that used to hold the record for that was a guy called Ollie Reed. Do you remember Oliver Reed? Him and Moon became buddies when we did Tommy. He played the father in Tommy, the stepfather. And Oliver had the kind of legendary name for being the drinker.
Right.
He out-drink Richard Harris, Richard Burton. He could put them all under the table.
Right.
Until Moon came along.
Right. He taught them all a lesson.
He took the title.
So Moon challenged Ollie to a drinking contest. And Oliver Reed used to live in this great big monastery, converted monastery in Surrey. And he had a pub at the end of the drive.
Right.
Very useful.
Can you imagine? Perfect.
So he challenged him to a drinking contest, and they went and they got a bottle of brandy each. And apparently it went down to about the third bottle of brandy each.
Oh, my God.
And Oliver Reed passed out under the table. Moon stood up and said, "Fuck you, Ollie, I'm going to the pub for a real drink." Went to his pub, because Moon had a pub at the end of his drive.
That's crazy. You can laugh at it now, but like, did you ever sit him down, or did the band ever sit him down and try and do what they call an intervention nowadays and try and get him help, or was it just something that just wasn't thought of back then because everyone was so young and carefree?
We didn't know. We didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we talked to him. We tried everything. I've got lots of memories of going to see him sitting in bed recovering from some. Well, the memorable one was when he took a monkey tranquilizer.
Oh my God!
In San Francisco.
What the fuck is a monkey tranquilizer?
I don't know.
Whatever they give the monkeys to calm them down.
Or a rhino tranquilizer or whatever it was.
Whatever.
And he literally passed out second song on stage. Bang. And he was out for 24 hours. And as this drug left him, it kind of... The next day we had to push him around in a wheelchair because his legs wouldn't work.
Oh my God!
But this bit was working.
Right. His mouth worked.
Yeah, this bit was working.
Right.
So we could give him some stick while we were pushing him in the wheelchair, and then we got him to New York and he laid in bed, and it was very, very. But he was sincerely really. It used to destroy him when he did it.
Right.
He would really be upset that he let us down. He was incredibly unhappy.
And would Pete, as a songwriter, get pissed off at him? Because, it's important to Pete, I'm sure, that his songs be played the exact certain way. And I would imagine he'd get angry.
We liked the fire, but that didn't matter too much. But we used to get pissed at him because we cared about him and we could see the inevitability of what was going to happen. But he seemed to have 9 lives. He did things that... I've seen Keith Moon, the air conditioners, you don't see so many of them now that go through the window.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen him dancing on one of those 16 stories in the air, with a bottle of brandy.
So he had a death wish?
No, he was just fearless. He's one of those kind of people just had no fear of anything.
Do you understand that at all? That is crazy. It's nuts.
When the first days of airport security, when the Palestinian thing was going on in the 70s, and they brought, very early airport security, Moon, they used to have a kind of curtain thing that you went in and they pat you down.
Pat you down,
yeah. Moon, huge queues built up to go into these things. Moon just stripped naked in the airport. Complete, down to his underpants before he got there. And before he went in front of the whole airport, off came the underpants. He just didn't care.